Hi there, I'm Chris Devine and this is Six String World. Just another quick video today covering a wrap-up of the 2022 NAMM Show. I had planned on doing this shortly after I got back from the show last Monday, but something happened that will explain that delay, and I'll share that later on in this video. If you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon will let you know when I put up a new video. I've noticed that my analytics report says that 98.5% of the viewers checking my videos out aren't subscribed. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that'd be great, and it would keep you from missing out on any future videos. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. If you want to share it, there's also a button for that as well. But back to NAMM. First off, when this show is being planned in late 2021 and early 2022, there was a big uptick in COVID Omicron cases. I'm betting this was a factor in certain companies deciding to not attend NAMM this year. Also, many companies had banner years without the expense of a NAMM show, which certainly made their marketing people scratch their heads on the actual benefit of doing a trade show that costs so much. When they didn't do them, they seemed to do better. So it's a little perplexing on that respect. As I mentioned in the previous videos, I'm betting a June Anaheim show doesn't have a big enough draw compared to January, when everything in the Northern Hemisphere is frozen solid and there aren't a lot of other things competing for time for other people. Summertime, things generally get a lot busier and there's a lot more of distractions and other things that take place. So, well, that being said, the NAMM show is sparse in compared to previous years, with about 30 to 40% of the available square footage at the convention center going unused. Companies like Fender, Gibson, PRS, Marshall, Boss, Peavey, all big hitters that did not attend this year. And several companies actually chose to rent quiet booth-like cubicles and meet with dealers and do small demos. Orange Amps chose this method instead of their usual wall of 4x12 cabinets and their ever-present free swag bags that you see everybody walking around the show floor with. It was a little strange. It's kind of like it was kind of like Philadelphia without a cheesesteak. It was like New York without the Statue of Liberty. It was like Seattle without strong coffee. It was kind of like an episode of The Office without Michael Scott. The companies that did attend, however, seemed to get a lot of attention, though. Because of that reduced presence of larger companies, it seemed this cleared the way for newer and smaller companies to really get some attention that they deserve. So that is a plus side to it. Since the usual schedule of trade shows haven't really applied for product releases since January of 2020, companies kind of started releasing products on their own schedule, and basically what this makes for when you do have a trade show, the surprises and reveals are usually a bit smaller but still very interesting. First thing to note is Ernie Ball collaborated with Tosin Abasi with a new guitar, the Kaizien. I actually gave it a bit of a whirl at the show, and it was certainly interesting from an ergonomic point of view, and it played quite nicely. The fact that Tosin Abasi has his own guitar company and then still collaborating with Ernie Ball is a pretty big statement, and it was kind of a big surprise to me and a very pleasant one. Laney Amplifiers also has an amazing delay unit that seemed to nail a ton of classic sounds that really impressed me. Third Man Records is really getting into the pedal collaborations. They're working with Jack White on some new pedals. They've got a stereo MXR micro amp that's really kind of neat. You can run into two amps at the same time with two different settings for levels. So it's great if you're running stereo or running dual amps at the same time. Maybe you have one amp you want to hit a little harder than the other. It's a great idea. Blackstar had just announced a couple weeks before the the NAMM Show their St. James line of amplifiers, and they sound fantastic. They're also extremely lightweight. Manhattan Prestige basses, I know this isn't a bass channel, but it was very interesting to see that they had some very amazing modern J basses that were reasonably priced and well thought out. I did get to see some great software demos from Ilio, I-L-I-O, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I personally also got to really try my first Strandberg guitar that had an extended range fingerboard and 7 strings, which was very interesting. It's a guitar that isn't in my wheelhouse normally, but I wanted to see what the hubbub was about, and I can definitely see the attraction to those types of instruments. The only regret I had was I did not get to try out an Aristides guitar. They're quite a very popular modern guitar, and they were sitting right next to Rev Amps, and that's a great pairing because Rev Amps does some amazing, wonderful modern high gain amplifiers, and it definitely fits into some of their audience as far as that goes. It seemed like every time I tried to go to the Aristides booth, there was somebody playing the version of the instrument that I was really interested in checking out. I was looking for myself to try out one of their normal 6-string guitars with no extended range fingerboards and just a standard bridge. They're very striking. If you think their Instagram page is running filters, it's not. Their colors are extremely vibrant, striking, and very unique. I kept walking by this so often, I think they may have thought I was stalking them, but I was just looking for a free chance to try out one of their guitars. And while the Aristides booths and the Rev booths were very busy, the overall attendance was also a bit mellower. The actual number of people that attended the show, not as exhibitors, was just over 47,000 people. For reference, the 2020 show in January of 2020 was 115,000 people. That's a 59% reduction in attendees, if my math is right. That reduction also gave the companies that attended to really engage with their audience as well. So that was another thing too, is you went to a company and you wanted to talk to them, they had the time and they weren't being pulled in a million different directions. So that's also very helpful. There also wasn't the usual rock star and celebrities in attendance that you would normally find. However, I did see some popular YouTubers. Seeing Rick Beato and Tim Pierce shuffle down the hallway maybe wish I had better hearing so I could pick up on whatever conversation they were having. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to hear those two guys chat to each other. I did say hi to Pete Thorne and said, how's it going? And it made me realize something very unique there, that while I do watch their respective YouTube channels and I like what they do, I don't have it in me to push myself on them and introduce myself. My editor and I actually bumped into Rob Chapman of Chapman Guitars while walking back to our hotel, and we chatted for a bit, but that's because he's been on the cover of our magazine, Performer Magazine, and we've covered him and his guitars in the past, so we've got a bit of a history there. And that was more along the lines of reconnecting with someone you've had past experiences with. I just don't know how I could go up to one of these people, whether it's a YouTuber or a celebrity, and be a fanboy and then not feel like a turd afterwards. But it does get surreal when you watch someone on a little screen and then they're right there in front of you. So it's kind of a unique experience. Saturday was the busiest day of the show as usual. And Sunday felt like a typical last day of NAMM. Usually everyone has had enough fun and they just want to go home. So what does this mean for NAMM? Well, next year it'll be in April because they're trying to get the trade show to go back to its normal time in late January. So they're going to do it in April of 2023 and they're going to do it in January, late January in 2024. But the NAMM of years past may not happen again. Companies are changing, musicians are changing, the audiences are changing. And I've talked to a couple of manufacturers since the show, and they said it was nice to be back, but it wasn't the same, and we don't know if if it's really worth it to keep going if it's not going to be the same, or it's got to have something else to bring people in. And I get that. I don't know how the options will lay itself out for what NAMM can do. It's gonna have to change a little bit. Is it a slow decline? Maybe it's just not as important to newer companies and newer musicians to get noticed this way, because the last 2 years have shown us that to be successful as a company, well, you don't need a NAMM show. And if you're a player, if you want to get endorsements or work out deals with companies, you might not need to go to a NAMM show to make that happen. I got home on Monday morning on the red eye, and I planned on shooting this video on that week and have it ready for a release later on. And then things got busy. I had to get back into some rehearsals for my band. And then Thursday morning, I realized I got an unwanted souvenir from NAMM. I got COVID. Thankfully, my symptoms are not bad. I'm vaccinated. I'm boosted. I'm sure it has helped me in not feeling like total crap. It's held off into the summer cold bad allergies zone. And I've had a few friends get it recently with far worse symptoms. So I'm definitely counting my blessings, and I'm very appreciative that I should be okay in the long run. But ironically, the last NAMM show I attended, I came home and got sick as well. The running joke is they call it NAMMthrax. It's usually you get from sharing a space with over 100,000 of your closest friends from all around the world. And I definitely got sick. I don't know if it was COVID back then. It definitely felt like that as things went forward, but it was a souvenir I seem to be bringing home more often than not. So that's a little weird for me. But anyways, what about you guys? Do you think that NAMM is overrated or even over? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.